Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Uncivil Law for the Thursday night bar review. I hope you're having a great one. I'm having a great one. We're trying something different over here on Uncivil Law. We've been doing the morning legal roundup thing for a while, and that's been fun. We've been doing that for like 6 months. And from time to time, it's good to just shift things up and try something new. You never know if something different will work. And then, of course, you can always go back to what you were doing before if you need to. But it's always good to check from time to time and see what's going on and just have a good one. So I'm drinking a nice little Simply Spiked. I've got a couple different flavors here. This particular one is watermelon flavored lemonade, 5% alcohol. Very delightful. And we're just going to have a little bit of fun. I just try to keep it fun and casual and just have a little bit of a good time and chill out a little bit. Just catch up with our week, see how we're doing, and this will be a new series. So, we're in the same way that Ian has Mondays and Rob has Fridays. I thought maybe we would have Thursdays. But joining me now is our guest, Nate the lawyer. Hello, Nate the lawyer.
Hey, hold on. Let me turn on my camera here. All
You do
right.
like to see. There he is. There's the man.
Why is it so close? You got me like so close up to the thing.
We can change it, man. There you go.
Oh,
a little bit
cool,
wider.
cool. What's going on? Oh, let me put my
much,
mic.
man.
Gotta stretch the mic up to my face. What's going on? How's everything going? How's everything going, chat? The chat that loves me here. What's going on, chat?
Yeah. So in the same way that Rob has Fridays and Ian has his thing on Mondays, I thought Thursdays might be good. So I believe they always start the same time. Rob starts at 8. Ian, I believe, also starts at 8 Eastern. So I thought, maybe we'll do the same thing. And we'll just do we'll do a weekly show where we'll have weekly hangouts. So I've invited Rob to attend in the future. I've invited Ian to attend in the future. They're not able to attend tonight. But that's okay. We're just getting started. We're just getting started.
Yeah.
Now, I know I mentioned a lot on my channel, but a lot of people might not know that you have moved to the great state of Texas and have been living here for a little while now. How long have you been in Texas at this point?
Like maybe 4 months, 3-4 months. It's been going well. Yeah, going well.
Yeah. And now you're no longer surrounded by skyscrapers everywhere.
Well, I am in Houston, so there are some skyscrapers around, but not as many as in New York.
Well, but you're on the outskirts of town, so I mean, like where you live. I mean, before you were living in Manhattan, and now you're living in the boonies.
That's true. That's true. Well, Houston, we got a problem, right?
That's what they tell me. That's what they tell me.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying Texas. I think it's a nice little change of pace, So
yeah,
everybody's kind of falling into it, So it's going well. It's going well. I'm just kind of getting to that everyday grind, because this YouTube game is fickle sometimes. So
well, you've been crushing it lately. You've been a model to me with some of the stuff you're doing. And the stuff you're doing and producing has just been increasingly good quality.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, especially because it's been difficult. YouTube is, just for all you people know, YouTube is very difficult. It is not easy at all. Trust me, it's a fucking pain. But
there's a lot of competition.
But
of course, you produce stories and they don't want people to know because you're producing some uncomfortable truths over there on your channel.
Yes. But I think the one thing about this is that, like I always said, I started doing YouTube because I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, and I think it
for sure
fun. And and I love sharing my opinion and my thoughts with people, and I love educating. And it's tough because first, with the education piece of it, YouTube, the education piece of it, you don't get as much money for the educational piece of it. But you do get a lot more money for the entertainment piece of it. And I'm, just been fortunate enough to be able to.
Well, you're doing the blend band, the edutainment thing.
Yeah, which is tough. So it's like now I'm getting a lot of hate because of the whole the Trump stuff, which is fine. But I think a lot of people don't realize that Trump's fraud case is legit. People. I think that's the problem. I think a lot of people don't
There's
realize
certainly
that.
room. There's certainly room to criticize aspects of what the judge is doing, but the overall case, at least under New York law, he's got a lot of problems.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah. So it's like if you wanna like fight around the edges and stuff, that's fine. But like the overall thrust of the conclusion, it's like it's a problem. He's producing these statements that are meant to be representative of his business, and he is putting them out onto the world. And basic principle, like you have to run an honest business. You can't lie. And so his statement, like that these all have at the end of this paragraph, that's basically be like, don't believe anything I'm telling you, is like so and opposite, because it's like, what's the point of this thing if I'm not supposed to have some reliance on it? That's based on some sort of reality.
Well, the one thing I'm starting to feel bad about is some of our brethren out there who, unfortunately, I think you have this crazy bias, right? Where some people, no matter what Trump does, they just want to say it's good and want to defend. And you see the
Sure,
same thing on the Biden side, where no matter what Biden
sure,
does, they try like him switching up today, talking about I'm going to do the wall. Okay, but before he said he wouldn't build any more wall. That's a problem, right? Obviously, it's a contradiction, but people are just going to ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. Now, even with Trump, I think Viva and some other people were saying, Joe Rogan said the property at Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million. The judge said $18 million. The judge is crazy. People are saying it's like $100 million. So I'm like, people just don't understand. It wasn't the judge who said it's worth that. It was the county appraiser in Palm Beach when he assessed it for taxes.
sure.
That's the number he said it was. And that number was important because Trump paid taxes based on that number, the 20 I think it was the $18 million number. His
Hmm, hmm.
taxes were, and it was because of that restriction. They couldn't use it for a one family house. So everybody's showing this
Yeah,
Joe Rogan clip, like Joe Rogan saying,
yeah.
"Oh my
This is
God, it's
this
$100 million."
this is the thing that everyone keeps missing. This is the big thing that everyone keeps missing. They keep putting up this picture of like Mar-a-Lago, estimated $20 million or whatever it is, and they show other properties in the area
Hmm.
that are all like these, single family homes that are estimated, and that'd be like, well, it's ludicrous.
Hmm.
But the thing that people keep failing to understand is that Mar-a-Lago is deed restricted in its deed to be a social club. So it doesn't have the same value that a single family home would have, because it can't be used for that purpose. It can only be used for a social club. And that necessarily makes the property only as valuable as the business that you can bring into it,
Exactly.
because the restrictions that are baked into the deed. So and one of the things you should like always remember in real estate, it's all about comparables, right? You can't compare Mar-a-Lago to these homes next door, because the homes next door have different restrictions on what they can do, and that changes the value of the thing
And
potentially
Mar-a-Lago is
quite
not a home.
substantially.
And
Yeah, it's not.
Mar-a-Lago is
Yeah,
not a home.
it's not home. Yeah,
Technically. But the weird part about it is that I think people don't also understand, by accepting the fact that it's worth 500 million, you're essentially saying that he committed tax fraud,
yeah, that too.
because
Yeah,
because don't forget, he's the amount he pays in taxes are based on the evaluation by the tax assessor. The tax assessor is so 27. He's saying no, it's really worth 500. Then guess what? He owes now the difference
yeah,
between it was it $18 million in taxes and $500 million in taxes.
yeah. So like one of the things is true. Either like he's been committing fraud, or he owes lots of back taxes, or both. So
Yeah,
maybe the assessor's knocking on his door. It's like, oh, 500 million, you say?
yeah,
Oh, okay. We'd like to reassess for several years going backwards.
yeah. Let's go with your number. Let's not go with our number. So
Yeah,
it's funny because, but I think people just still in a desperate need to claim that he's
yeah,
somebody getting screwed on this particular one. That it doesn't matter what the evidence is. It doesn't matter that it's the tax assessor saying. It doesn't matter if
yeah.
it
And
just
it's just one piece of the puzzle, right? The judge didn't rely on that alone. So like, even if you say the judge was wrong about the Mar-a-Lago thing, when you go read the judge's decision on the summary judgment, it's talking about the property in Aberdeen, it's talking about property in Trump Tower, it's talking about all kinds of different properties that all had wildly wrong numbers. And Trump's team saying square footage is subjective, which I thought was particularly cute.
10 to 15% maybe, but you're talking about by 200% square foot. That's ridiculous. It's like I got a 2,000 foot square, 2,500 square foot home, and if I go put it in the market saying it's what 7,500 square feet that nobody's going to notice, that's just going to be that's not fraud in some way. I just it's just, don't get me wrong, and I do want to say this. I do believe Trump is getting screwed in some of these cases. Shocker, right? Shocker. I do think if his name wasn't Trump, he probably wouldn't have the criminal charges that he has in the Manhattan DA's office. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think those are bad charges. But if you're telling me that this essentially it's a documents case, this is what did you have on your tax returns? What did you have on your bank statements? If those two numbers don't add up, you got a problem. And that's essentially what they're saying here. You told the tax man it was worth 18 million. You told the bank it was worth 500 million.
Mrs. Hayes in chat says the judge is definitely wrong. Comps are what real estate agents give the newbies. I don't even know what that means in chat. And it's one of the principal ways you understand what anything is worth is by its comparables. You look to whether it's real estate or not. You always look, if you're dealing with items that don't have fixed prices, you always look to what the item is worth based on other comparables. If you're trying to determine the price of like a rare book or, some document, or you're Rick on Pawn Stars or whatever, right? You're always looking into comparables to figure out what this item is worth based on unique factors. So comparables is a pretty good way to go about assessing value. So I'll disagree with you on that one.
And it's not about what you believe it's worth. It's about what the market's going to pay, because that's what they asked you for market value. It's what somebody else is going to pay for the property.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I think Mar-a-Lago may be worth more. But again,
oh sure,
you can't have the tax guy say we're only taxing you at 18 million because we only think it's worth that much value. You certify, yes, that's the value of it, and then on the back end say, well, now it's really worth 500 million because I want a bank loan on it. That's fraud in anybody's book, and that's essentially what they got Trump on. They literally got him on number A, number B. Now, it's easily political. You can go talk about it and say, well, hey, it's really worth 100 million, because that's the people who don't really understand that's them not getting into the weeds. They just see the numbers different. Oh, the judge is wrong with the number. But then if you just read the document, the judge didn't just make that number up. The judge said, well, that's what you pay taxes on. You told the tax person that's how much it's worth and paid taxes on that number. So you certainly didn't go out of
your way to correct the tax man and be like, no, that's the wrong valuation.
So I'm assuming that you didn't commit felony tax fraud. Right? I'm assuming that you didn't commit felony tax fraud. And then the people defending Trump are saying, no, he committed felony tax fraud. Okay.
Palmyra Productions gave $1.99 super chat to say just because. Thank you very much. We do appreciate your super chats as we're doing it. Unfortunately, due to technical problems, mostly by me not setting it up properly, the super chats don't pop up on screen today. So sadly, that's not doing. So I'll make sure to try to read them as they come in, more or less, as we go forward. But
here's what Jeff says. What's the threshold of fraud? Well, this is not beyond a reasonable doubt because it's not a criminal case. This is a civil case. So this is about the preponderance of the evidence.
Yeah.
And by the preponderance of the evidence, that's what we're looking at. So we're saying, did he knowingly turn in a document to the bank, certify that this is a number of my property? And did he knowingly turn in a document to the government saying this is the number to the property? So what did they do? They went to those entities. They didn't even go to Trump. They went to those entities. Let's go to the government. Palm Beach. What was their value assessed at? How much did they say that money was? The government gave them a document, 18 million. Then they went to the bank and said, bank, for this $18 million property, how much did they tell you it's worth to get the bank loan? 500 million. Okay. By the preponderance of the evidence, is it more likely or not that this person committed fraud? Because the same people who wrote both documents gave wildly different numbers. On this document, you got 10,000 square feet. On this document, it's 30,000 square feet. Both, and you certified both to be true.
in answering the question about what's the threshold for fraud, right? The fraud is in the falsity of the statement. So that is in the nature of the fraud. It's the lie with the material misrepresentation, knowing material misrepresentation. So you have to know that you're lying. Knowing material misrepresentation in business, basically, that's the fraud, right? If they believe you're fraud, then that's completed fraud. But even if they don't complete your fraud, it's attempted fraud. It's like, even if you know better. So one of the ways I explain this to people on my channel is like, if you have a guy who just happens to be, a great car mechanic, and he knows a lot about cars and all the rest of it, and he goes to some used car lot, to buy a car for his daughter, and the seller starts telling him all kinds of crap, but he knows it's crap because he's a great mechanic, so he knows that that's not true. The very fact that they lied to him makes it attempted fraud.
Yes.
Because they're trying, we're assuming the scenario, of course, that the dealer knows that they're lying. But the very fact that they are giving him this misrepresentation is enough. The fact he's able to see it doesn't prevent the crime of the fraud from being complete, because it is in the nature of the misrepresentation. And it's like, also, it's just, you got to tell true things. Your Trump thing has been hard for you. I'll tell you one that's been hard for me and made me riled up is recently I've been covering some of this Scientology lawsuit. I've been covering this one, Remini versus Scientology. And I was getting frustrated last time I was doing it, because I had to keep explaining to my chat over and over. It's like, I'm just going to look at this based on the documents. I'm just going to look at this based on the filings. And, so I'm saying things like, okay, I don't think there's enough here on the paper to show Scientology's behind these things. And the amount of variance of, you don't know Scientology, I got from various members of my chat was deeply frustrating, because I'm like, well, I can just, I'm only supposed to judge it based on what's on the paper. So, yeah. So sometimes it's like I had to explain it over and over and over again. It was getting a little tiring.
Oh, somebody's saying, you know what? Because I think people fail to realize that generally in court, the judges only, it's a limited knowledge base based on the documents that are presented. So,
Yeah.
if the judge is making rulings based on something that they know from outside of the documents that are presented, that's improper. And I think that's probably what you're running up against. It's like, even I think, like, it just is what it is. Someone says, oh, they've been talking about this. There's something with legal mindsets video. They said, what did they say? They say we should critique legal mindsets video. Curious your view versus a real estate attorney. Well, I don't know if a real estate attorney is telling you that number one, just so we understand what we're talking about here, we're not just talking about the tax assessor. We're talking about certified appraisers of the property. There were like multiple certified appraisers who appraised the property also. So the tax assessor appraised at 18. The certified appraiser said, well, we may be up to 27, 30 million, right? And they put on their documents 300 million. And then just so everybody understands, when asked about why they put so much, they said because essentially we made it up in subjective. So you have a certified appraiser. Just imagine you take your car somewhere. You got somebody appraised it at X value. You tell her you certify the taxes is worth this value, and then you just make up a value that's outrageously 2,000% more than that.
Yeah,
people are going to consider that to be fraud. And I know, listen. I know Trump derangement syndrome is hard, and people usually say Trump derangement syndrome of people who don't like Trump. I also believe Trump derangement syndrome of people who defend Trump, because they defend it. Yeah, and I think it gets deranged. I think sometimes it gets deranged. Like, again,
some of the stuff on the documents case on the classified documents case, some of the stuff some of my chat was coming up with would fall into that category.
It's literally
like reverse Trump derangement syndrome, because I'm like,
I'm not even
guys, he's on tape. He's on tape confessing to every element of the crime and also killing every possible defense. There's not a lot of room left to go here, people. Some of the stuff some people things are desperately trying to come up with was almost slightly hilarious. Because it's so desperate for it to not be true.
And don't get me wrong, it's like I even hear with the Hunter Biden stuff too. The Hunter Biden, they're after Hunter because it's just Hunter Biden. The Republicans are this. I'm like, are you really telling me the Republicans set up that laptop, put all that incriminating stuff in it, all those emails in it, give it, take it to this place. So this guy who really, I'm not like, it's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. They're deranged, but it's the same deranged. Whenever it comes to politics, though, the derangement's on both sides. It's literally super deranged, and just like with this immigration stuff, it's all deranged. It's literally all deranged.
Jeff P2662 in chat says, "Thanks for the clear, concise explanation. Sounds like I've committed fraud every time I refied my house. Quite possibly. Have you potentially knowingly inflated the value of your house in your statements to your bank? Then yes, you might have committed a little bit of light fraud."
Yes.
So
I hope you haven't overvalued your property by 2,000%, and then tell the tax man it's 2,000, right? Like, I only bought this for $1, but I'm selling it for 25 million. Yes. I only want to pay my 50 cents in taxes, but again, it's derangement. I'm telling you, it's just derangement. But I understand. Because your guy's got to be the good guy, the other guy's got to be the bad guy, and there will be no quarter given, no logic sought. It's just
the lack of logic is something that always continuously frustrates me, especially when it comes to trying to have a principle and apply it evenly. Because it's amazing how much people will bend over backwards for their person, but not the reverse. It's like lack of consistency sometimes is a problem.
I see it for everything. Like, even argue with some of our friends about Russell Brand, right? When it comes to Russell Brand, we can only believe it when when evidence is filed, charges are filed, then there's evidence, and you can say he's guilty. So I'm like, so just like with Trump. Oh no, the courts are all liars and everything applies to the courts. I'm like, what? You can't have it both ways. It's either you telling me I can only believe it if it's in court, but now I say, all right, this guy's in court. Well, you can't believe any of that stuff. It's and at a point you sit there and you say, do you even really, are you listening to what you're saying? Are you understanding that you're essentially just making it up based on different people? And like, well, and I'm like, why can't we just evaluate the evidence then? Let's just evaluate the evidence. And that's kind of where I like to fall into, right? What's the evidence being presented? Let's just evaluate that. And then we'll if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. But no one does that anymore. It's let me evaluate the evidence based on me liking this guy and wanting to see it in the worst possible light.
For sure, man. What are you drinking tonight, Nate?
Some peach champagne. Yes.
Is it champagne made out of peaches? Or peach flavored or what?
It's supposed to be like, I forget. It's like champagne, but there's some peach flavor or whatever. So the sparkly, bubbly. I'm actually not supposed to be drinking because I'm taking antibiotics. So I'm just taking this one glass, and that was it.
Well, we hope you feel better, man. We don't like a sick Nate. That's no fun for anybody.
Yeah, it's wild because are you going on Laid Back News tomorrow?
Yeah, I guess I can because I'm not normally streaming during the day anymore. So, yeah, I'll go on Laid Back News tomorrow. I'm gonna do a Supreme Court oral react tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Oh, that's cool.
Because the Supreme Court's back in session, baby. So that means we get to start listening to oral arguments. So we're going to listen to one dealing with who has standing when it comes to raising an ADA complaint in a hotel. So this woman who is disabled has filed, I forget what the number is. I think it's 600. She's filed like 600 ADA complaints against various hotels because under the Americans with Disability Act, hotels are required on their website to provide their disability accommodations, and even 30 years after the ADA was passed, they don't. So she found a hotel in Maine that was not compliant and filed a complaint. Mm-hmm. But she admits that she had no intent of going and staying at the hotel. She had no intent of like going to the area. So the question is whether or not she has sufficient standing to raise the issue. And also there's also an issue of potential mootness on the case. But we're going to cover that tomorrow as well. So that's exciting.
They got to get over the procedural hurdles first before we get to the fact.
Yeah. My chat
Uh,
loves my chat loves standing cases.
not well.
Half my chat is convinced that standing is some BS.
I know that's the Barnes thing, which is so wild because if I don't care what Barnes says. If you're a lawyer and you're practicing law, and if you take a case to court that does not have standing, you could possibly lose your license. So I don't care if anybody tells you it's BS, is this, is that. It's that fundamental to you having your law license. If you take a case to a court, you should be able. Every lawyer should reasonably believe that they have standing, and you have to show the court that yes, you reasonably have standing. You know who you're suing. They can give you what you want. You're in the right court. Those are the simple processes. So it always automatically makes sense. Like I can't sue on Kurt's behalf, right? I can't sue because you are hurt. That's ridiculous. That's standing, right? I have no standing to sue for Kurt. Kurt's injury.
I know. It is very, very sad for me because I want you to sue for me because I need help.
No,
well, we do have some fun stories. So let's cover a fun story. The Philadelphia Phillies have denied an entry for an emotional support alligator from entering the ballpark. You cannot bring your emotional support alligator into the ballpark in Philadelphia. It's very sad.
That's pretty sad. That's pretty sad.
When will the discrimination stop?
For someone
against the alligators.
For someone to even ask that is just like insane. But
the alligator is going to have a great time. You're going to the ballpark, you're going to get some hot dogs and some Cracker Jacks, and the alligator's going to have some snacks too.
Emotional support alligator. Oh, what was named? Here's another fun one. What city was named the best big city in America for the past 7 years?
Dallas?
Nah. Nope.
Miami?
Chicago.
No, Chicago's not the best city.
The
one with the violence, the one with the constant shootings, gang shootings.
Yes, the one that's gonna like the crazy Chicago is best city in America. I'm like, who the hell is ranking these cities? Here it is. Let me share my screen. It's.
I'm not sure the citizens of Chicago would rate it as one of the best cities in America.
Yeah, I don't think they would either.
And show me what you got on your screen. We're having fun.
Here it is. I'm gonna play it.
To sell the city, to talk about the city. And also, I think as Chicagoans, it's really just great for civic pride.
Chicago beats out New York, San Fran, Seattle, and many more cities.
Chicago's been named the best big city in the country in a key survey.
Who the hell is taking this survey? Who the hell is taking this survey? Talk to me, Kurt.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Sally Schulze reports these bragging rights come at an important time.
With views like this, it's not hard to see why travelers love this city on a picture-perfect October day. For the 6th year in a row, readers of Condé Nast Traveler voted Chicago the #1 big city in America.
I have to agree since I've been here forever.
Yeah. Chicago's the best big
If she's
city
been here forever, why is she labeled Chicago tourist? Why is she labeled Chicago tourist? What's up with that, Fox 32?
It's all make believe. It's all make believe.
I like how she's wearing a mask outdoors.
Outside. Yeah, outside. Outside. It's insane. It's insane.
But she's pulling it down off her nose, not following good protocol.
I think it's a scam. I think it's a scam. There's no way that Chicago is the best big city in America. Not with the crime. Just with the crime alone should disqualify it.
No. Dallas or Fort Lauderdale or Miami. Miami's nice.
Miami is nice. But it's not the best city in America.
Apparently not. Miami and
was
Dallas
it.
also, of course, have the benefit of both being in states without state income tax, which also helps a lot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well.
Is there any more to this
Oh,
story?
you want to play the rest of it out?
Sure, why not? We're not in a
2
rush.
minutes.
And I get out myself. I get out and sightsee Chicago like I'm a tourist. And I've been here all
Like
my
I'm a
life.
tourist.
Condé Nast calls Chicago a world-class destination, highlighting the architecture, museums, massive brewing scene, and 77 neighborhoods to explore. They also mentioned the brilliant chefs, which lures Alex Lopez back for multiple servings.
Compared to what we have, the cuisine that we have here in Chicago is one of the best cuisines that I have tried.
This designation comes as the city's tourism arm says both leisure and business travel are almost back to 2019 levels. On top of the pandemic recovery, this also helps counter all that Chicago bashing on crime.
I think that when you look at urban areas,
Chicago
every
bashing.
city we're competing with has got urban problems. And so I think that what this really reemphasizes is all the positive things that people see.
Another reason travelers like us, we're just so likable. Condé Nast says Chicago has some of the most pleasant people you'll find anywhere. That's some Midwest hospitality for the win.
It's not just our residents that are hospitable.
No, Chicago
It's
doesn't have Midwest hospitality under any definition that I'm aware of. No, absolutely not.
This is Chicago's the greatest city in the world, baby. Forget about the crime, the shootings, and all that stuff. Chicago.
Hospitality industry. We have a phenomenal hospitality industry here that really want to showcase our city, that treat people well, and that's recognized by our travelers.
And the city is already using this designation to sell Chicago to more visitors. Sally Schulze, Fox 32, Chicago.
Wow, that's just one of the funnier things I've heard today. That
Chicago. Yes, that Chicago.
that is truly epic.
The Chicago, baby.
Unclear what Chicago's position is when it comes to emotional support alligators, though. Do you think they let in the Fenway?
I don't.
The alligators?
I don't think so. This story seems like insane. Oh, this is like a monster alligator too. Is it
That's a big boy?
It's
a big boy
wrapped up too? Because I wouldn't want to like that sitting next to me.
A Philadelphia fan and his emotional support animal, an alligator named Wallygator, were denied entrance to watch Philadelphia host Pittsburgh. Here is a picture of said Wallygator on his red leash, looking all dapper, I guess. Wallygator is apparently a working emotional support alligator owned by Joey Henney of Jonestown, Pennsylvania. Citizens Bank Park policy on support animals is posted on the website. It says guide dogs, service animals, or service animals in training are welcome. All other animals are prohibited. Hannay spoke to Philadelphia Inquirer last year and said that Wallygator helps him battle depression and he likes to give hugs. Okay. Hannay then said the gator has never bitten anybody. Okay. The alligator apparently is a hugger.
Maybe with his mouth. I don't know. I wouldn't want to hug an alligator. I'd want to wear it on my feet for some nice gators.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to show you a TikTok clip, and I'm not sure why in particular, but I thought this TikTok clip was like one of the funniest pieces of shit I've seen in a while. So I want to see if you find it as funny as I did. So this is from a show called Yeah Mad TV, and the premise of the joke, the premise of the series is that the two people on both sides of the table try to tell jokes to the other person without the other person laughing, and if they laugh, they lose and they have to take a shot. Okay, so they take turns telling jokes to see if they can get the other person to laugh. So this is part of that series. So listen to this one. Let me know if you can hear the audio. Okay.
Knock knock.
You hear that?
I hear nothing.
Sorry.
Thank you. You remember how the fucking
Okay.
Knock knock.
No, you heard that.
I'm messing with you. Yeah, that was my joke. to get you to laugh.
That's mean. That's mean to Uncivil.
That's a mean joke. It was mean
that's
joke.
mean to Uncivil as he deals with technical issues. Mean to Uncivil. Bad name.
Knock.
Who's there? Sorry.
Thank you. Do you remember how the fucking knock knock joke goes? Yeah, sick. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Mr. Philfor.
I don't get it.
Oh, fuck me. Knock knock. Who's there? Answer. Blah blah blah. Who? Do you remember this? What do you mean? Knock knock.
Who's there?
Mr. Philfor.
Okay.
Mr. Philfor. You say Mr. Philfor.
I forgot.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Mr. Philfor.
Mr. Philfor.
Mr. Philfor, these nuts. The build up was worth it. Oh shit. Let's go.
Thus ends the clip. But I found that very, very funny.
That was good. Yeah. It took a lot to get to it, but I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, the setup is the joke. It's like, how many tries do you need to tell a knock joke? Apparently you need at least 4 tries to just tell the joke. Because she doesn't know how knock joke work. How do you forget how knock jokes work?
Oh man, that's hilarious. That's good.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we should play this game.
Ooh, game. I like game. What do you got?
All right. I haven't watched this yet, but we are going to play. Can you tell who the secret Trump supporter is?
Okay. I've seen clips like this. I'm not sure I've seen this particular one, but I like that one that you did one time. It's like, can you tell who the black guy is?
Yeah.
When everyone is blind. And the white guy is like the blackest sounding guy in the room.
Yeah, this is one of those. But this is, can you tell who the Trump supporter is? All right, here we go. I'm going to share this.
Is it you, Nate? Are you the Trump supporter?
You don't know. Here we go. All right, so now we don't know who it is. So we're going to play it and we're going to try to figure it out.
Six Trump supporters versus 1 secret hater. So this is to find the not Trump supporter.
Yes.
Disneyland, that's not what it's for. It's so that you can make it well. I see so many people who are using government assistance to go to Disneyland. That's not what it's for. It's so that you can make America great again.
We brought together 7 Trump supporters.
I am a Trump supporter.
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 1 is a liar. If the group discovers who the liar is.
Now I'm going to say it. Based on looks, there are 2 of them that kind of look like, not really a Trump supporter to me. But, I don't want to overgeneralize. But the white guy, he definitely, I'm just about just based on looks.
They'll
the white
split a
guy
cash prize.
and the black guy looks like a Trump supporter to me. The tall black guy and the white
liar
guy
survives,
they're like there.
he or she wins the entire prize.
So I think we should
see like that. This taller black guy and this older white guy. The older you are, the more likely you're going to be conservative. So that's why I'm believing these younger women, like this one right here and this one, the one here in the number 2 from the left, the 2 in the black. I think those are the ones I'm like suspect on just on looks.
should say why we support him, since assuming we all do. Okay. So did you want to start?
Purple hair.
Sure. I'm supporting him because I'm a dad.
I support him because record unemployment rate at all-time low.
He's got to make me feel like he's suspect already. He's
he's got some tells there. Swallowing his word, covering a little bit. Yeah, man.
He's got to cough it up too. Yeah. I support Trump because I'm a dad. That's a pretty stupid answer too. Let's not forget about that one. But this guy's he's got my Trump hater antenna up.
Stuff like that.
When people lie, they tend to like touch their face.
I really love how he's a Christian and he loves Jesus and God. He's actually the only president in history that's
Quicker
said-
because we have like 6 people. Okay, go.
I support him because he
Try to
follows the
overcompensate.
Constitution.
I support him because I feel like we have more religious freedom with him in office than Hillary.
Yeah, there's so many reasons, but America first, I guess, is the reason. Is my reason in all
Same
facets.
here. He's done a lot for the country.
So she was right next to me, and she didn't necessarily cut me off, but she seemed just very nervous. She didn't sound like she believed what she was telling everybody.
Okay, my faith informs my voting, simple as that. And second, my dad has been in the Marine Corps for 30 years, and so vet support is really important to me.
Wow.
All right, Kurt.
I'm voting for I'm voting for a guy in the blazer. Second
This guy?
from the right. Yeah.
The whole coughing and covering the mouth.
Yeah.
Even though I'm the one with the blazer, the girl with the blazer, she's kind of suspect too, though. I don't know.
I feel that, but my first round vote goes to guy in blazer.
It was super nerve-wracking going into the first speed round because you know that everyone has assumptions about how you look.
He's got a lot of diversity of support out there. They just don't speak up out of fear. And so it was interesting to try to read everything from body language to what they were actually saying.
I voted for Sierra in the first round. I thought she was the mole because of her look, her dyed hair, and how she initiated the conversation.
All right.
I think
so
it
your
was
choice got
a
voted out.
combination of my nerves and because I was wearing a crop top and it's not so conservative. And I had a piercing out earlier.
Raise your hand if you have any doubt and you would like to continue the game.
Everybody's going to vote in 2020?
Yes, absolutely.
Does everybody have a favorite for 2020?
I'm voting for Trump.
In 2020.
I don't know yet. Yeah, I'm proud to cast my vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah, I think this is the last election. But hold on. If we're trying to find out who the hell is the secret non-Trump voter is, this is a gimme question. Who are you going to support in 2020? If it's not Trump, then you're the secret Trump hater, no?
Well, it depends when I'm asking the question, I guess.
2020 election. Him or Biden.
Yeah, in the finals, yeah, but Trump wasn't doing particularly well in the early election. Who was doing well then? Huckabee?
He was the only person you could vote for. It was Trump versus Biden. Trump was already the incumbent. There was no primary for Trump.
Not in 2020, he wasn't the incumbent.
Yeah, you're talking about 20. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, you're in 2020.
They asked the question is who you're going to vote for in 2020.
Trump is the incumbent in 2020.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Yes, he is. Damn. Never mind. I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid. I'm so sorry.
We would vote you off. He's a secret Trump hater.
I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Vote Kurt off. Yeah, it's like I'm going to vote for Trump or the other guy. The other guy's a Democrat.
I confused 2020 with 2016. I'm so sorry. Never mind. Carry on.
President Trump, yes.
Trump here.
I think I made people focus on me because I didn't know I don't know if I would vote for him again. I think that if someone better does come along, I don't want to just automatically say he'll forever have my vote. I just want to clarify just in case you guys don't think that I support him because I totally do.
I got to vote her out.
Yeah.
No one else is voting against. No one else is running against. It's only Trump. Trump versus Biden or the Democrat. She's like, I don't know. I'm not who I'm going to vote for. What are you talking about?
But I am curious that one of the major things right now is immigration. So what is your guys' stance on immigration?
Well, I'm a second-generation American on both sides. So my dad's parents immigrated from India, and my mom's from Mexico.
Now, the issue is she's young and she's cute. Those are two red flags for Trump supporters. Not to say you can't be young and cute to be a Trump supporter, but if I'm trying to find the one who's more likely than not to be a Trump supporter, young and cute would fit those categories. What do you think?
I'm still voting with Blazer Guy.
So I think this country would be nothing without immigrants at all.
Yeah, I grew up in California, in Los Angeles, California. I've seen the demographics change, not often for the good. You know, there are many homeless Americans and veterans. They're homeless on the streets, and yet we spend tons of taxpayer money to support illegal immigration. You know, we have a constitution, and if you can't respect our laws, you know, it's better that you don't come.
The black guy's a stone cold Trump supporter.
Yeah, no, I love this guy. If he's faking, he's doing a great job.
That guy's the Academy Award for best Trump supporter goes to the black guy.
Keith, you know he was a Trump supporter. It flowed.
Where do you get your news? I don't watch any cable news at all.
And I listen to a lot of podcasts, like more specifically like Joe Rogan, because he usually has people like Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder, along with people who like are more leftist.
Did you see Alex Jones on Joe Rogan when he was on there?
I think he's like wild.
Yeah.
So
that's where I get my most of my information from.
He's still touching his face, man. Still touching his face. I don't like this. I don't like Zacharias over here. Zacharias is going out.
From well, number one, if you're saying you get all the information from Alex Jones, you're already suspect to me. But then the whole touching to the face is like,
yeah.
Infowars and Alex Jones.
Well, these are really informed people here.
You got to be on top of your game if you're gonna ever talk about politics with anybody.
I want to bring up in the next
if you want to know the truth, you have to look at both sides to understand, you know, what's going on.
Zachariah.
Maybe he's just introverted, but to me, he didn't seem like he was actively engaged in the conversation.
I voted out Mike because I wanted to
Mike is going 2 votes.
that not all white.
I'm not going to pretend. I think Mike. I would be with you with Blazer guy, but Mike would be my number 2. Why are you a Trump supporter? Because I'm my dad. What the hell kind of answer is that, bro? You know what I'm saying? You can't come up with anything better than that. And I would think it would make sense to have a plant there. The obvious white middle-aged guy to not be the Trump supporter. That would, you know, it would. My spider sense would be tingling a little bit.
White men are Trump supporters.
I was thinking it was the first person.
He's even
said,
voting for
she's
Mike.
gone already, so why am I? You know, it's making it more difficult for me.
And I was wondering how the silence was going to play. I now know.
So, like, what would you say to the people who are going to think negatively of you as a Trump supporter?
Well, I think the first thing is that no matter what side you stand on, President Trump has reinvigorated our democratic process.
You know, they say, well, he's a racist. I say, well, you just ask them, the people who believe that. You say, well, what's racist about his policies?
Just because of my support, it discredits who I am as a person, or like they're not willing to listen because it's like, it's really,
Blazer guy's trying too hard with Blazer. I'm just saying, Blazer guy's trying
really
too
hate
hard.
Blazer guy, huh?
I really hate Blazer guy. Trying too hard to be a country club Republican. Blazer guy.
For me, purple hair girl is just, she's controlling the conversation. She's got purple freaking hair, and she's so much, she may not even vote for Trump. Like, what more does she need to say, right? For me to at least vote her out. What more does she need to say? You need to pull a poll in the chat. Who do people think? Is it Blazer guy or purple hair girl?
All right.
Blazer guy or purple hair girl?
Who is the fake? Blazer guy or purple hair chick? Or we'll add other. And people can vote accordingly. All right, let's start a poll. See what the people think.
All right, I'm gonna vote. I'm sorry. I'm voting for purple hair chick. I'm just not feeling her. Blazer guy. It's a toss up between Blazer guy and purple hair chick. All right. Oh, Blazer guy's winning. Here we go.
Pro-life, I'm discredited from everything. So, you're Catholic, you can't have an opinion on this. We already know what your opinion's going to be.
It's like, we could talk about it. We don't need to fight about it. Just have a conversation. Your next door neighbor probably supports Trump, and you don't.
I love how he's giving the power back to the people. You know, the elites have held it for so long, and they're still fighting to like keep, you know, stay in power. But I think it's really divine, and you know, God's hand is in it.
Blazer guy just seems too fake to me. He got to shut up. I want to vote Blazer guy out. Damn. If Blazer guy's a Trump supporter, he's a bad Trump. Blazer guy. What the chat say? Before we get to this round of voting?
Blazer guy 46, purple hair chick 37, other 16.
All right, let's see what the crowd does.
Jesus Christ.
I have a question probably for the next segment if we have another one.
Zach made himself seem too suspicious because he had his American pin flag. I thought maybe he was trying too hard.
Sierra, Zach, Natalie.
So we have a tie. So we're gonna do a revote. The tie is Zach and Natalie.
Honestly, I was kind of baffled by it.
How could you be
I
baffled?
wasn't really surprised just because, like, I don't fit the look of somebody who supports.
She's saying the right things, though. Let's ask the chat. Natalie or Zach? Natalie or Zach? Here we go. Who would you guys vote out? This is fun. Natalie's hot, though. I like Natalie. But I told you she was sparking me, too. I was like, I don't know if Natalie... But Zach is he just seems just too fake. Zach just seems too fake. I think I would have to vote Zach. My vote would be for Zach.
Yeah, no, for sure. 100%. You got to vote Zach. Or Natalie. Or Zach. Yeah, no, Zach. Yeah, Zach got to go. Zachariah. Zachariah is a fake name. Fake name. Fake news.
Somebody put Natalie hot, so Zach. Yeah. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
It's Trump.
Nate's a late guy.
Our stream's been suspended.
I think I voted for Zach because I didn't want to vote.
What?
Our stream's been suspended for policy violations.
What?
Apparently for streaming this. Stream's been suspended. Stream's been temporarily blocked because we detected the video belonging to someone else. So you copyright claimed me into being blocked.
Is this really? It's funny because I've done these videos before too. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have a strike on my channel because
Is this a strike?
I don't know. My entire policy's been suspended. My entire stream's been suspended.
Oh, they might have just blocked it for the thing, but it's not a strike though. Check your back end. Sorry about that, bro.
I'm looking at my back end. I'm looking right at my back end. Stream unavailable.
No, I'm saying they usually don't strike it though. They usually it'll be what's it called? A thing. Oh, I know what it's like. I know what it is. It's not a. It's probably not a strike. If it was a strike, you'd see it as soon as you went into the StreamYard, to the back end.
All right, we're back. Sorry for the stream issues. We're not allowed to have fun, I guess.
Well, it seems like that video is no good. I'm just going to scroll to the end to see who the actual Trump supporter was. Because I just want the chat to feel like, oh my God. Oh. It was, what's her name? I'm trying to find her name. It was the woman on the end, Catherine. She was the mole. Zach was a Trump supporter, and so was Purple Hair Girl. Wow. That's crazy.
This is all Nate's fault, I'd like to note for the record. Nate decided to share this video with me and got my own stream stricken down for content violations.
Oh. Oh, 20 gift memberships. That's nice.
From Sandy, our mod.
Oh, thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy.
Oh, at least we're back, and we still got 170 people rocking hard with us.
Yeah, rocking hard. First Thursday night bar review where it's like, let's have a little fun. Let's have a little frivolity and stuff. Let's try to make it a little bit more fun and enjoyable. No fun and enjoyment for us today, man.
Yeah, but that's actually it's funny because that's never happened to me. And as a matter of fact, I've got these videos on my channel. Maybe YouTube is getting a little more tight with their policies.
I guess.
Smash the like button, people. Well, with that said, it's almost 8 o'clock, and I have children to put to bed.
So let me get this straight. You share content that gets my stream struck down, and the minute we come back, you're like, "Well, it's time for me to hit the old dusty trail."
Well, I told you I had to leave probably about 8 o'clock.
Yes, you did, but that doesn't mean I can't harass you about it on the stream.
That's true. And there's no way that I thought that stream was going to get thing. See, some people are saying in the chat, I watched one on Nate's channel. I know, I do them on my channel. So I'm surprised this one got struck.
Nate's channel is better than my channel, but that's okay. Nate's going to help me out.
I wish. Let me see. Nate did it on purpose, all planned.
Tony gives $5. Faithful Uncivil Chat is best chat. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh well, listen, brother. Thank you for having me on. Sorry about the I don't know what it is, the copyright violation. Thank God we're back though. YouTube fascist. I don't know. And it's been funny because like I'm getting like they had given me this content warning. So I literally took a clip from a news thing. And then they hit me with the 17, 18 and over, no kids can watch it, that type of thing. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So then, how you appeal it. So when I appealed it, I'm like, well, hey, the video's found, and I put like 4 different places, right? It's all over the place, and none of those are under 18. And then they were like, well, so what? It's on your channel. But I'm like, literally, it's a video that's been circulated on all these other channels. So it's like, I don't know. YouTube is not consistent with their policy sometimes.
Fair enough, man. Well, if you got to go, you got to go. My guest has been Nate the lawyer, my good friend and colleague, and he's a good guy, man. We need to hang out some more at some point, so let me know when I can come visit. I'll come visit you this weekend if you want. I'll bring an air mattress. So if you want me to crash at your place.
Well, this weekend I got a two birthday parties. My wife's birthday is on Sunday.
Happy birthday, Nate's wife.
So we're all going out. And then on, Saturday, my wife's sister's daughter's birthday. So the kids are going over there and party it up. So today's birthday weekend. But we should hang out during the weekdays though, if you want.
Sure, I can come over sometime. Let me know when.
All right. Well, listen, guys, I got to get out of here because now it's 8 o'clock and I definitely got to put some kids to bed. But if anything, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. I love that like little moniker. Like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. That's it. But I'll see you on the other side, bro. Thanks again for inviting me.
All right, thanks, man. Bye-bye. All right, cool. My guest has been Nate the lawyer, who is a cool guy. Take a lot. And it doesn't appear to have resulted in any major problems on my channel, so there doesn't seem to be a strike on the back end or anything like that. So I think we're okay. Just YouTube got mad with me streaming it. So, oh well. Roma gave $9.99. Say, Kurt, I thought you were going to be at a bar. Wrong kind of review. You're all awesome. Thanks. We're having a good one. Nate's a cool guy. Another story I saw that might be fun for the Friday night or Thursday night bar review. A dog has been caught in the driver's seat of a moving car in a speed camera photo in Slovakia. So we read about a story like this in the United States recently, where there was a guy trying to get his dog into a car during a pullover, and the cops saw him trying to exchange places with his dog. But apparently Slovakia, we've gone one step further, as we see Fido behind the wheel, just living his best life, which is pretty fun and just enjoyable. So apparently the people in Slovakia are willing to go the rest of the way. Slovakian police detail an incident on Facebook Friday saying the Skoda was speeding in the western Slovakian village of Stursky The brown hunting dog, who would appear to be sitting in the driver's seat, was caught in action in the camera photo. The 31-year-old car owner and driver of the vehicle at the time argued that the pet had unexpectedly jumped into his lap, but the police say there was no evidence of that, such as any movement recorded on the camera. So we're not quite sure exactly what happened there. But, well, dog is just behind the car, just living his best life, apparently. There is Fido behind the car, looking all smug. Who's a good boy? I don't know if he's a good boy or not, man. He might have been speeding. You gotta watch the speeding, man. You gotta watch the speeding. Now let's see what this video shows exactly before I share it with you guys. Yeah, so there's a stabbing. So there's a stabbing in Florida, and the stabber appears to be a former federal prosecutor who was caught on camera doing the stabbing in Florida. So you don't normally see that every day. So here is video of this, and you see this guy who's trying to like assault this guy in the car with a knife. Yeah, he's certainly trying with the stabbing. And apparently, at one point in his life, he was a federal prosecutor. So, yeah, there he is. He worked for almost a decade, apparently, at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Tampa. So, you know, he's going to find the wrong end of the law there. So, according to authorities, the former federal prosecutor was arrested. Former federal prosecutor involved in the early prosecution of January 6th defendant was arrested in the stabbing of a driver in Florida after a crash. When the Tampa resident said the incident unfolded as he stopped to help an incapacitated driver who appeared to be experiencing a medical episode. When the driver woke up, he accelerated forward, hit Gaff's car, and while attempting to drive around the car, he collided with a second car, according to Florida police. So this guy is having some sort of medical episode, passes out in his car. It does occasionally happen. Apparently comes to and is, of course, incredibly confused and hits other cars, as you might expect. Patrick Scruggs, the 39-year-old former prosecutor, was inside the second car that was hit. Gaff told CNN that Scruggs got out of his car, went to the vehicle that hit him. Scruggs then shattered the driver's side window and attacked the driver inside with a folding knife, leading to multiple stabs and cut in his arms. Scruggs is now facing felony charges of armed burglary, aggravated assault, and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. His attorney appears to want us to keep an open mind, saying his client has no prior history. Apparently, records show Scruggs was released 10 hours after he was first booked on $65,000 bond. Some of these bond rules in some of these states continue to get me incredibly, like, how do you let this guy with a stabbing out on $65,000 bond? I don't know. But he was involved in the prosecution of January 6th defendant Adam Johnson, known as Lectern Guy, who tried to make off, at least in part, with the Speaker of the House's lectern. So that all happened. So I don't know don't know what that's all about. But yeah. You know, I don't know. Like, I keep reading these cases and we keep doing attorneys react stuff. And like, you know, it always amazes me, some of these people who are let out with, you know, multiple warrants, multiple offenses, multiple bail jumping violations, and they're let out on like a $2,000 signature bond. It's like, none of these things are, some of these rules are so, just like minimal or whatever. Yeah. So it's pretty weird. If you stab at someone, I expect attempted murder. Yeah, those charges may very well be elevated in the future. But aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Obviously, to prove for attempted murder, you have to prove the intent to kill, which is a little bit tricky. But you can prove aggravated battery with a deadly weapon without breaking a sweat. So if you get more information, you might up it to attempted murder, but not necessarily clear that was his intent at the time. So in some ways, charging murder is easier than charging attempted murder because the guy's dead and you don't have to figure out what he was trying to do because the results already happened. But yeah. Thought it was $65,000 bond. Maybe I misread it. Maybe I misread the number. Either way, it's still like, it still is, it's surprising to me. I don't know what about that. Yeah, I just don't know about that. I'm trying to see what else we have on the news. This is pretty interesting and just like kind of petty kind of news. Nancy Pelosi has been evicted from her private office in the Capitol by an interim House Speaker. They sometimes call this a hideaway office. This is an office like in the actual Capitol building. Most Congress people, of course, have offices in one of the buildings that attach to the Capitol. They don't have offices in the Capitol. There's not that many offices in the Capitol. So she has an office, in an office building, but she also has another office in the Capitol as well. And they kicked her out of her private office, her hideaway office recently over all this. So just it's petty, but it's like, it's just one of those things. The House Speaker pro tem Patrick McHenry gave the order to Pelosi to vacate her Capitol hideaway by Wednesday. McHenry is a close ally to now former House Speaker who was ousted from his role. So one of the things that this has been said to be about is that there is, I believe McCarthy himself said at one point he was promised by Pelosi that if they ever came after him for Speaker, Pelosi would back him up, and then of course that didn't happen. Right. So apparently, the way I heard it is that McCarthy had gone to Pelosi and is like, I'm having trouble with my caucus. This is when he was getting, trying to get elected. And Pelosi says, what's the problem? And Pelosi, he said, there's this rule that, any member can bring it off a motion to oust me. And I don't really like that. And she said, well, don't worry about it. If it ever happens, we'll get your back. And then, of course, Pelosi was nowhere to be found when McCarthy was being kicked out of office. So the idea that this is, partially retaliatory because she broke her promise, which, color me shocked, but that's what that's all about, apparently. Apparently, the House Minority Leader helped her move out of her hideaway house. Pelosi said, with all the important decisions that new Republican leadership must address, which we're all eagerly awaiting, one of the first actions taken by the new Speaker pro temp was to order me to immediately vacate my office. Pelosi saying the eviction is a sharp departure from tradition. As Speaker, I gave former Speaker Dennis Hastert a significantly larger suite of offices for as long as he wished. The former Speaker said the office space doesn't matter to her, but seems important to them. So, yeah, apparently that's some of the just shenanigans that's generally happening with loss of norms. You know? Yeah. It's pretty petty. They're not going to install Trump as an interim speaker. I seriously doubt that that's going to happen. But it wouldn't, yeah. There's probably not enough votes to get Trump elected speaker. You know, a lot of Republicans don't like him. So I doubt that Trump could get the votes to be speaker. Petty is funny. Yeah, I'm not denying it's funny. It's just it's just petty. For sure. Hmm. 127 watching, 41 likes. Yeah. Republicans could have the first black speaker. Yeah, I suppose so. All right, what else should we talk about? This is just weird. I didn't know that this was an issue. I'm not sure it is an issue, but Massachusetts seems to think it's an issue. Massachusetts may pass a law that makes it clear it's illegal to give a robot a gun. I don't know that this is a problem that needs to be solved, but apparently someone thinks it's a problem that needs to be solved. Apparently Massachusetts thinks it's really, really important to make clear that you can't give a robot a gun. Has anyone tried to give a robot a gun? Is there a huge swath of robot-related shootings going on in Massachusetts? I mean, you know, what is the impetus for this? Okay. Two bills pending in Massachusetts, both hilariously entitled "An Act to Ensure the Responsible Use of Advanced Robotic Technology," would make it a crime for Commonwealth citizens to make or operate any robotic device or uncrewed aircraft that is equipped with any weapon. Later on, the bills also refer to something called disruptor technology, a term not defined by the bills or any existing Massachusetts law. My research shows disruptor technology is used mainly by Romulans and Klingons. Cute. Under state law, disruptors may not qualify as firearms because they don't shoot bullet, but they definitely be stun guns. Disruptor technology might be Earth police jargon for Earth stun guns like tasers. But if that's what they mean, they presumably mean stun gun. Another possible explanation is something called a projectile water disruptor, which bomb team disposals apparently use to destroy bombs faster than they can explode. So maybe the sponsors were thinking about one of those. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think about disruptor technology is like some sort of sonic attack that, you know, I know the military, for example, has used sound to cause people to light disperse because it's just so uncomfortable, like targeted sound waves. So the first thing that actually comes to my mind is some sort of targeted sound wave based attack that would be used, I guess. But whatever it might mean, which we're not sure, you wouldn't be able to put it with a robot. Doing that would violate subsection B, which would make it illegal in Massachusetts to manufacture, modify, sell, transfer, operate a robotic device or other uncrewed aircraft equipment or mounted with a weapon. The penalty for violating these laws would range from $5,000 to $25,000. There are, of course, exceptions that would allow government officials or defense industrial companies working with them to use armed robots or drones under certain circumstances. Subsection I is apparently used to clarify use this robot is an exception to the Fourth Amendment warrant requirement. It seems ridiculous that we need to clarify that, but I suppose we do. Well, that's exciting. The Fourth Amendment, of course, as would be operative here, relates to the seizure of the person, presumably. Which, incidentally, the police shooting you would qualify as a seizure of the person. That's that's one of the principal ways you think about it within the meaning of constitutional law. So there's a due process problem potentially in the police shooting you. So there's a Fifth Amendment problem in the police shooting you. But there's also a Fourth Amendment problem because when they shoot you, they seize you, the person, which is a Fourth Amendment interest. So just in case you're curious how the Fourth Amendment made it into this, now you know. This is one that's just funny in the Schadenfreude of the whole thing. I'm not sure what it necessarily says about anything in particular. The Second Amendment doesn't apply if you own a robot. I think you'd be hard pressed to say the Second Amendment contemplates robots, since there weren't robots or anything close to them in 1791. I think you'd have a difficult time arguing there's a fundamental right to armed robots. Yeah. I appreciate your enthusiasm and all, but no. Castro asked, aren't sonic weapons banned under this law? I don't know if sonic weapons are banned or not. This would specifically, this is in addition to any other law. So this would ban specifically sonic weapons from drones or other robots. Google Nightscope and Fountain. What is Nightscope and Fountain? Why am I Googling it? DC security robot quietly quits trial by drowning itself in a fountain. That's kind of funny. So the exterminate thing is not really happening. The technology may not be ready for prime time, people. The technology may not be ready for prime time. Apparently, a DC security robot has drown itself in a fountain. There it is, the robot in the fountain. Robot isn't supposed to be in the fountain, people. That is not where the robot belongs, I'm quite sure. Unless it's biding its time, waiting patiently. Who knows the machinations of the robot? RDC office building got a security robot. It drowned itself. Yeah, that's good times. We don't know the full story of what happened, but it appears the robot, a Nightscope K5, ran itself right into a water fountain inside an office complex. No word on whether it survived with injury or why the injury occurred. Did it hate its job? Did it just overhear some horrifying news? Did it realize the future is not, in fact, now? Apparently, earlier this year, a drunk man was arrested for knocking a K5 over, though the robot wasn't always the victim, after tripping up a toddler and coddily driving away this summer. Apparently, it's 5 feet tall and 300 pounds. It's not going well for the robot army, man. It's not going well for the robot army. I thought this story was pretty interesting just for like the whole interesting aspect of it. So as I'm sure you're well aware, the Democrats at large and Biden in particular have said that border walls are really, really dumb and we shouldn't have border walls. And while I certainly will agree that border walls are not a complete solution, they seem like they would help, in just preventing people from like literally crossing over. I mean, some people could go under it, some people could go over it, which is kind of true of all walls. It's not perfect, but it will help. And the Democrats say it's super racist and xenophobic and all the rest of it. But apparently the Biden administration has agreed to waive a whole bunch of federal laws to allow more border fence to be built in Texas. So, that whole thing is just funny as shit. According to a notice published in the Federal Register, the administration has said it will waive 26 various federal laws to build additional border barriers in the Rio Grande Valley. I mean, that's just hilarious. Border walls are super duper racist and everything, but we're going to waive 26 federal laws to help build more help build more wall. Construction of the wall was to be paid for by already appropriated funds. The administration was under a deadline to use it or lose it, but they've decided to use it. Biden, who as a candidate promised there would not be another foot of border wall, defended the decision, saying that he tried to get the money appropriated for other purposes but was unsuccessful. But why would that matter to you? If you don't want border wall, don't get more border wall. The money was set aside for border wall. If you don't want border wall, don't build it. Then the money won't get spent. But the money must be spent, I guess. I'll answer one question on the border wall. The border wall, the money was appropriated for the border wall. I tried to get them to reappropriate to redirect the money. They didn't and they wouldn't. In the meantime, there's nothing under the law other than they had to use the money for what's appropriated. I can't stop that. Asked whether he believes the border wall works, he says no. Homeland Security's secretary said forcefully there have been no changes in administration policy. I want to address today's report relating to border wall and be absolutely clear. There's no new administration policy with respect to the border wall. We've repeatedly asked Congress to rescind the money, but it's not done so, and we're compelled to follow the law by waiving 26 other laws, apparently. I guess. Doesn't really make sense to me, but whatever. So I don't really get it. So I think that's probably enough for tonight, given all the technical problems and things that we had. But, this has been fun. I appreciate the 100 of you who are here. We'd like to try to get more subscribers here and more viewers here. So that's one of the things that we're really trying to drive for. We'd like to get, more people participating. So the morning roundups have not been as well attended as I would have hoped, and hopefully the evening slot will work better for people. So we'll see if that works better for people. So, tell your friends, and hopefully it'll be a good thing. And hopefully, in future weeks, Ian will join us and Rob will join us and stuff like that, and we'll go from there. So it'll be always fun. Yeah. Thank you very much, KL Burke, for the stripe. Appreciate that's very, very kind of you. I appreciate everyone who supports the channel. Thanks for saying you liked my interview. I thought it worked out really well, and the reviews have been mostly positive. We'll have an edited video out tomorrow at 1, and then we'll be live streaming tomorrow probably at 5. I think maybe we'll be a little earlier. I don't know, because we have Friday Night Frenzy. If we start at 5, I can't necessarily guarantee we'll be done by the time Rob starts. And that could be interesting if we have to go head to head. We'll see. Joe might be able to join live in the future. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. We'll ask around, see who wants to join. It'll be good times. All right, I'm going to sign off for now. This has been fun. I hope you had a good time. I really enjoyed it. And we'll see where we go from there. Until later, my friends, I've been Uncivil Law. Till later, my friends. Cheers and goodbye.